You need to be a first home buyer for starters or haven't owned property in the last 10 years. Also need to be an Australian citizen or an Australian permanent resident or a Kiwi that's just moved over to Australia. The scheme started October 1. It actually got brought forward from January 1 to now October 1, which we're in October, so it's ready to go. There's unlimited spots available. So previously there was a cap, but they've scrapped that now. So depending on where you live, if you lived in Brisbane, for example, or Sunshine Coast or Gold Coast, the maximum you can spend is now $1 million. And then if you live anywhere else in the country, you can refer to the Housing Australia website. So there's no income caps anymore. So there previously was 125,000 you had to earn under if you're a single applicant or 200,000 as a couple. Now there's no income caps at all. So you could both earn 300 grand each and still get onto the scheme. Lenders will lend up to 95% of the property's value, and you need to have the 5% deposit plus cost. So it's important that you factor in the cost as well. It's not just 5% of the purchase price. Depending on the state that you're in, you may have to come up with the cost for stamp duty. There'll be some transfer fees and also allowing for property solicitor costs, conveyancing fees, building pests. They all add up. They're not huge, but that's also something to factor in. The government will guarantee up to 15% of the property's value. So you need to have the minimum 5% plus the costs, and then the government will guarantee the rest, that you don't pay lender's mortgage insurance. So it's essentially the government are going guarantor for you. The same as if a parent was going guarantor for you, the government are essentially doing the same. So great question. There are some things to be aware of. So the government are guaranteeing a loan on the basis that you're living in the property. So not if you were to buy it as an investment property. So if you were to initially buy the property, live in it, and then decide you want to rent it out, you actually have to have 20% equity in that property or look at refinancing and paying lender's mortgage insurance and moving into an investment loan type setup. They're the things that you need to be aware of. There's also some other little tips and tricks. Look at the Housing Australia website to get across those. Under the scheme, the lenders look at you as if you had a 20% deposit, so you're going to get a cheaper interest rate than if you were to have the 5% and pay lender's mortgage insurance. So it's quite a big difference. Obviously, you're going to save on lender's mortgage insurance, which can be up to $45,000 in some cases, and then you're also going to save on the interest rate. So over the life of the loan, it's going to be huge savings. So you can combine the 5% deposit scheme with any other first home buyer incentive. So in Queensland, for example, we've got the first home owners grant of 30,000. You've got the stamp duty waiver for existing property up to 700,000 or 700,000 to 850, you get some concession. Or if you were to build, you won't pay any stamp duty. You've got the first home super saver scheme. So any first home buyer incentive can be combined with this particular scheme. You get this one quite a lot. A lot of people assume that it's for new property only if you were to build, but it's for existing property, and that's often what we're using it for at the moment. So it can be for either or. Just your standard home loan application documents. In addition to that, there'll be a declaration form that you need to fill out and witness. So they're the extra steps. As part of getting pre-approval, for example, or applying for finance, we actually help you get the spot on the scheme and walk you through that process. So a couple of extra documents, but nothing too onerous or strenuous. So when we apply for your finance through a lender, as part of that process, we will help you secure the spot on the scheme. So that all happens basically simultaneously. And yeah, it's a pretty simple process really. One of the key things that comes up quite a lot is if you're buying a property and there's a tenant in that property, you need to have moved in within 6 months of settlement. So whether you need to move your settlement dates around to work within that frame, and then that's just what you need to do. But that's one of the main ones that you need to be aware of. A great question. You can't save as fast as the market is moving. So if you've got the ability to have the 5% and get onto the scheme now, that's something I'd strongly consider versus trying to save a 20% deposit, because that could take you, who knows, 2 to 5 years to be able to do that. And by then, property's gone up a lot more than what you've just saved, so you're in a worse position. So yeah, they're the things that I'd be considering. You can't save as fast as the market is moving. In Brisbane, property values have increased significantly, and there's no way anyone can save as fast as that. But definitely there's that risk behind it. It's obviously the government's increased price caps in a lot of areas. In Brisbane it's up to $1 million. So if you got 5%, there's quite a lot of risk there if property values were to go down. It's a natural, occurrence in the market. There's going to be ups and downs, peaks and troughs. But naturally over time we've seen property market values continue to grow. So for the long term, likely that there's not going to be any of those issues, but yes, you need to consider that too. So if you were to sell, there's no implications. Obviously you'll sell the property, assuming that there's some profit, then you'll get given what the surplus funds are after the sale. If you sell and you don't have enough to clear the loan, that might be an issue for you. Refinance, for example, you want to have 20% equity in the property to avoid paying lender's mortgage insurance. Otherwise, you're going to end up paying lender's mortgage insurance. So it's not going to be very beneficial for you in that sense. So by case, you need to consider those things when you're looking to do either of those